Austin St. John, if you guys don't know, he was part of a massive scheme to defraud the government out of the tune of $3.5 million. If you don't know who he is, he's Jason Lawrence Geiger is his real name, and he is the Red Ranger. Well, yesterday, a sentencing memo dropped that was one for Austin St. John, which breaks down his sentence. Right now, if you know me, if you've been part of Henry Cords, you knew that I knew he was getting probation. But this sentencing memo is going to basically outline why he got probation. And we really don't need to know all that. You know, each of these defendants was charged in an extensive paycheck protection program loan fraud conspiracy in which numerous individuals, including Austin St. John, obtained multiple fraudulent loans using the pandemic. Dun, dun, dun. Distinguishing factors for these secondary defendants in the government's view relate to how quick the defendant was to accept responsibility. That's the key factor. Assistance and cooperation in investigation and prosecution of others. Hey, did you rat? Did you rat? Did you become state's witness? Did you get on the stand and be like, yeah, that's Cord Newman? In their criminal history. To date, only defendant who received a sentence of incarceration is Greg Hatley. So remember when I said Austin St. John was going to jail, because I'm like, okay, well, this dude went to jail. They both did the same thing. I didn't know Greg Hatley had a criminal history. And Greg Hatley only went to jail due to his criminal history. In the table below, the government lays out the view of the appropriate sentences for the defendants. Now, as you see, damn, man, Jesus. Elmer Ayala got 6 months. Dang, we can go through it. But we're really here for, as you can see, some of the other people. The guy, Eric Marascio, this is Phoenix. He got 41 months, basically for his criminal history and his relationship with the ringleader, Michael Hill. It was like, hey, Ninja, you've been knowing this ninja for a while, cuz. And they said he lied. But we're not here for him. You have Fred McKnight, 5 years probation, and winner chicken dinner, Jason the Rat Geiger. Pre-sentence report recommendation was 5 months. So it's like, hey, Ninja, put this ninja in jail for 5 months. But the non-custodial sentence, 5 years, maybe they meant 5 years instead of 5 months, maybe, possibly. From the date of the arrest, Geiger, Austin St. John, cooperated with law enforcement, including providing a statement upon arrest and coming in for a debrief a few months after the incident. Like, hey, Ninja, hey, yeah, give us that statement, cuz. In addition, this defendant met with the government multiple times leading up to the trial and testified truthfully at the trial. Considering his assistance, the government submits that he should receive a non-custodial sentence. Now, a non-custodial sentence is meaning him not going to jail. They're like, we don't want him to go to jail. We know about this guy right here. Like, damn, like, look. His homie, this is when that meal prep for him that Austin St. John said he didn't know. I don't know all these people on this list. I only met them. Even though they were all at the Let's Scam the Government meeting party. This ninja got 41 months. Eric, uniquely situated among the key players. First, unlike most of the others, Phoenix has a criminal history, which includes charges of money laundering and bond violations. So, damn, this ain't his first rodeo. Second, Phoenix has a chronicle history of lying to authorities dating back at least to the time of when he was in the military, when he lied to commanding officer. Ironically, Phoenix even lied about the circumstances of his military discharge to the probation officer who prepared his pre-sentence report. God damn, dog. Why would you lie then, dog? Like, Jesus Christ. Austin, this the guy who's making meals for you? Jesus. Third, Phoenix had a long-standing relationship with Michael Hill. Now, remember, Michael Hill ran off with all everybody money. He ready to pay it back while Austin on the hook for it. The leader of the conspiracy, which clearly distinguishes him from the others who joined in 2020 for the sole purpose of attaining fraudulent loan. Significantly, at no point during the investigation or prosecution did Phoenix accept responsibility for his conduct or for lying to the FBI during debriefs. Goddamn, he was lying. Like, I am like the FBI, guys. If I ask you a question, chances are I might know the answer already. He also took this case to trial. Remember, they punish you for going to trial. He stands apart from the other defendants, and the recommended sentence is appropriate. So he got 41 months. Now, let's go to what happened in court. All right. You like, Henry, what happened? We need to know. We need to know. So obviously it was in Plano, Texas. Austin St. John, the Dallas area actor, famous for playing the Red Ranger in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, avoided federal prison sentence Thursday for his role in the $3.5 million PPP scam during the pandemic. I like that they put scam. All right. St. John, 50 of McKinney, was sentenced to 5 years probation under his legal name of Jason Lawrence Geiger after pleading one count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud, right? You're like, damn, what did the judge tell him? St. John told the U.S. District Judge, Jeremy, the crime was a one-of-a-kind thing. He faced up to 16 months in federal prison. Damn, he was facing 16 months. This court will never see me again, St. John said during the sentencing hearing. I will go back to my good works. What? Look, man. He said, and I quote, I will go back to my good works. Ninja, what is good works? Stay in school, y'all. Stay in school. I don't know what the hell he talking about. He was dressed in a black suit, white shirt, dark glasses, and a blue striped tie. He was joined in court by his wife, A.
Love of my life.
She told that ninja take that plea deal so you don't go to jail with your boy Corey Newman. Hey, you gotta take that plea deal, cuz. But baby, I'm innocent. I don't give a fuck about all that shit. We need you in this house. The judge, why did he put this? Look. You see why they put this goofy stuff in here? Why does this matter? Why does this matter? The Donald Trump appointed judge ordered St. John to pay over $225,000 in restitution, waiving a fine and interest due to his inability to pay the additional amounts. He went up. Austin St. John. He was like, "Hey,
can't you get it through your thick skull that I'm broke?"
He like, look, I gotta charge him $100 a signature, $100 a picture, $100. All right, and remember, Austin St. John got fleeced for all this, with the exception of like $33,000. Everything else went to other people. 2020. Remember, he paid off one guy $22,000. Then he sent the other guy $170, and I guess he paid bills with the other 33. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you feel me? A total of 19 defendants were indicted over the scam. Prosecutors say Michael Hill of Mineral Wells recruited the people to use the existing business to create and apply for PPP funds. We already know all this stuff, right? We already know all this stuff. We already know what they claimed. St. John and other defendants paid Hill and Moran, then spent the remaining money on themselves. Here you go, right here. This will get you. You can't get a government loan, Austin, and spend the money on yourself, you idiot. Well, they said it was cool, Henry, at the time, and I trusted them. Like, are you a moron? Don't answer that question. Don't answer that. Oh man. Remember his statement? It's our understanding that Austin put his faith, reputation, and finance in the hands of third parties whose goals were self-centered and ultimately manipulated and betrayed by his trust. Nah, man, this ninja knew what he was doing. Said, I hate Jason David Frank guy, Zach Taylor McGinnis. He knew what he was doing. Now we got some more court documents. Literally, right after he got sentenced, he put in that request for that passport ASAP. Hey, defendant Geiger respectfully moves the court for written memorialization in May, blah, blah, allowing Geiger to receive his passport surrendered to the court. He like, hey, run me my passport back. Run me my passport. He need to try to get some work overseas. I don't know if he can go to Canada once that felony status hit. But I'm waiting on one piece of paperwork, which happens to be his, the conditions of his probation. Now there was more to it. But this is just like why people go to jail, like a pre-sentencing report. And this is basically just details why Phoenix got sentenced to 41 months, mostly because of his criminal history and how they break down the sentence. You know, like if you have escalators, if you take it to trial. There are sentencing guidelines that they must look at. So, basing, the acceptance of responsibility, you get a reduction if you just accept responsibility, which does, Phoenix did not. So that swung would have resulted in a total of level 14 to 14, which coupled with a criminal history category 3 yields a sentencing guideline range of 21 to 27 months imprisonment. All that stuff. And then this fool, I guess he was sentenced to 75 years in December 10th and was scheduled discharge for 2087. Like, what? Who was look, this is Phoenix. This is not Austin. This was Phoenix. All right. We're still waiting on Cord Newman. Still waiting on that guy. But his passport was granted, guys. ASJ will get his passport back. But in the end, he only got 5 years for trying to steal from the government and then pinning it on the friends. Like, I didn't know, Your Honor. They tricked me and they robbed me, man. This shit ain't right, man. Here we got me all over the internet shit, man. Cuz, come on, man. Cut a brother a slack. He probably, cut a brother a slack, man. Cut a brother a little slack, man. I'm out here. I'm working. I'm a family man. Trying to do my good works. The judge were like, good works. Can you explain what good works is? I know he should be in jail, but yeah, a slap on the wrist with probation. He is old enough to know exactly what he's doing. Just because he played a teenager on a TV show doesn't mean he is one now. Lock him up. Well, no. If he he would have to commit like another financial crime to violate his probation. But we should have his probation papers next week. But yes, that Ranger is guilty.
That nigga is guilty!
So let me know what you guys think of Austin St. John's 5-year probation and paying restitution. And I'll see you next video. Peace.